By the end of the movie was saying what I've been always was saying. Just show me the alien. That's what I've been saying from before. Like to really
Okay,
believe
okay.
it is just show me the
Yes.
alien.
Totally, 100%, 100%. I realized the second time because like your brother and my sister we were driving home and they asked me like, so what do you think? What would you discover the second time, right? And I saw an interview where I was telling them what I discovered, and like I saw an interview where Steven Spielberg said it's meant to be watched twice, and I was like, oh, that's funny that you said that because he's like you have to unpack it, okay? And when I watched it the first time, I watched it from your perspective, which is show me the alien, bro. I was looking at the alien. Okay.
Hmm.
When you watch it the second time, I'm like, oh, you're talking about the truth, which is remote viewing, bro. The whole thing is about our psychic abilities. And I think I just sent it to you like right before this podcast, but I saw like one of this, I follow one of the government, he used to work for the government as a psionic asset, like literally bring these crafts and then we'd shoot them down. Like he was a part of that program, and I follow a few of them. And what he was saying is the thing that people missed is it's not about UFOs, and he thinks that that's why the rating was so low because they were expecting like battles and like shoot 'em up scenes, like the aliens are the bad guys or whatever. But he's like, no, it's psychic spies. If you watch the movie again, it's actually more about psychic spies than it is about UFOs.
Hmm.
What do you think? Now that you have that, because you've seen the movie and you're like, oh, like, can you like see where that's coming from? Like, think about all the characters. It's all like psychic based.
Uh, yeah, there was nothing to do
Main bad
with
guy,
crafts. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You're like, wait, what? Until the very end where they showed you the body.
yeah. And there wasn't really a focus on. I mean, yeah, I guess it was near the end only when they showed those videos of certain crafts, but
Exactly,
it was more about the body.
exactly,
Yeah.
right. And that's what I was waiting for too. I'm like, what are you gonna say about the UFOs, like the aliens? And then it's a very small part of the whole movie. That's why you have to watch it again because you're like, okay, UFOs are real. Whatever, get that out of the way. What is this movie actually about? And it's like, oh, the whole movie is about psychic abilities. And that I think is the
Well,
real
that's what
crux of
I.
the okay.
Well, again, yeah, I'm in. It depends on what you mean by psychic abilities. If you're using tools to make certain things happen,
No, no. Okay, okay, yeah, keep going, keep going.
which I can agree with that, but I don't think you can do those things without a tool.
No, no, okay, okay, okay. Totally. So I when he so the video I sent you, and remember I was like, oh, I don't understand why they had that tool, the holding thing. Okay. And I was like, I guess they needed a reason for you to understand remote viewing. Okay. But he
Hmm.
was saying in that video that I sent over, it's like, no, it's metamaterials. And metamaterials are like recovered pieces of the craft. Okay. And what he's saying is that you can use metamaterials to enhance your psychic ability. So that's why they had to keep like holding the thing and like do all that stuff. It's not okay. One thing that if you really go deep into it, and I keep saying this, like the real crux of the UFO thing is like you find out you're psychic. If you told us that it's like, oh yeah, there's like aliens out there, cool. Oh, there's crafts, like we're not the top of the food chain, cool, right? Like just think about it, right? Like you're like, yeah, okay, cool. Like there wouldn't be anything that breaks your mind,
Sure.
and that's why people are like, why don't you just tell us already?
Hmm.
Unless you think like ontological shock, because that's why
No, I don't
Steve,
believe that at all.
yeah, right. Steven Spielberg put in the movie. He's like, no, nobody's gonna freak out if you tell us about like aliens from another planet. Like the nun, remember? She's like, yeah, just no, we're all God's children, type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been coming out more and more, like through the UFO stuff. What you really figure out is like, or what if I told you that we were genetically enhanced? You'd be like, oh, okay, cool. That's just we're gonna put that a part of science. Like, turns out we are, and that's why you're missing the chromosome, right?
Well, I don't
Or
know if
no,
that
you
is.
don't think so?
Oh, I don't know if they say that we're missing a chromosome.
No, no, like it's like they're okay. Like the missing link.
Yeah, but I don't think that there's. I don't know what it is like. What does that mean? Missing link.
Right, 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 right. I'm not talking about the exact science of it. I'm saying like let's just say they told you that that was true. Just like the let's just say they
Who
told you
who
like
who is
aliens
saying
exist.
that? You're talking about
Scientists
scientists
like
say that.
let's say the UFO stuff comes out and they say like, hey, it turns out we were like genetically engineered.
Okay.
I'm not saying believe this. I'm saying if this came out, would you freak out?
No, because
Exactly.
yeah,
No. Well, but why? Why no?
Was nothing's happened since? Like, what do you
'Cause
mean? Nothing's happened. Like,
you're like, okay, this one's been
this doesn't change
genetically
anything.
engineered. You know, right? You're like, I'm still gonna go to work. Like, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
They wouldn't make an. It would, so I'm just going through all the things that like the rationale about why they want to keep it secret. You know, like, oh, we can't handle that there are extraterrestrials. No, we can. We definitely can. Oh, they're crafts. Okay, we can. You're not at the top of the food chain. Okay, we can. Oh, you're genetically engineered. Okay, we can. The one thing that we can't get over is psychic abilities. Why? Because that changes everything. Because Hal Puthoff, he was on Diary of a CEO, and he was explaining how he was a part of the remote viewing program. He like I think he like was one of the founders of it or something, or like the CIA brought him in to create it. And what's his name? Stephen Bartlett, the main guy of Diary of a CEO, he's like, well, if you guys are psychic, why can't you just like make yourselves rich? And he's like, yeah, we did that. And I'm like, wait, what? I've never heard this story before. So the CIA, in order to fund this program, they said you have to predict futures. So futures is like stock market, like rise and fall of like a price, right? So he's like, yeah, we just got a group of us. We bet on the futures of silver, and everybody made lots of money. And then he's like, and then Stephen Barr was like, "Do you get to keep the money?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a part of our like clause or something. Like if you can like make it, you get a portion. You can keep a portion of that money." But then like, what I think that nobody's really hearing is like, so what does that mean, bro? Because the stock market is the thing we all put our money into. If you can predict the future, um, so it's an unfair advantage.
Hmm.
Why would I put my money in the stock market?
Yeah.
Right, right.
Right.
And then Stephen Bartlett was like, "Are they still rich?" And he's like, "Oh no, we just like lost confidence." He's like, "Why don't they just keep doing it?" He's like, "I think some of them did do that." He's like, "But I like didn't really keep up with them, but like yeah, they're like wealthy now." And it's like, did nobody hear that part in the thing? Like that's like the crux of the whole thing. Like, wait, you could predict a future and you proved it through the stock market.
Hmm.
So what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I don't know how you prove that that's real.
Stock market? What?
No, no, no. How do you prove that what he said is true?
Because he was a part of the program. He's like, this is what the CIA made us do in order to fund the program,
What
and
I'm
they
no,
funded it year after
no, no,
year
no, no. They don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying, how do you know that what he said is true?
because he was a part of the program.
Now, yeah, I get like I
No,
know.
no,
I'm
no,
just,
I know what you're saying.
it's
You're
just
like, oh,
saying
why
what
is,
he's
how do you
saying.
know he's not lying? That's crazy. No, no, no. Okay, okay. Exactly. And this is the disconnect that everyone has. And that's why I'm like, I was waiting for you to say this because I'm like, this is the exact disconnect everyone has. And this is the disbelief. It's like you don't trust the experts because you ontologically don't want to accept that to be true. So if, wait, no, hold on,
Okay, okay.
follow me. If a scientist, how do you know that the people that we're talking to, not we're talking to, the First Principles podcast people, they're talking about like science, right? They're like, oh yeah, it seems like they're very close to like figuring out cancer through genomes and AI stuff, right? Okay, how do you know that's true?
How do I know what they're talking about is true?
Yeah, how do you know they're talking is true?
Well, you can read the studies of different people doing different studies and getting the
For sure. Yes.
same result, right?
Totally, totally. And that's why we're like, just release the freaking information, bro. There's all these years, like, help
That's
up.
what
He
I'm
said
saying.
it.
Yeah, that's my point, right? Like I can't
Right.
just say believe. Like even if a scientist did say something different about the, let's say even the evolution thing is all different, is wrong. Well, then you have
So,
to. Other people would be rebuttaling that or like giving more evidence. Is like no, these studies
yeah.
prove what he's saying is right. So like, how
Right,
do you
no.
prove this psychic thing is real? So then it's not as one person mentioning these things, right? Now, how do you show that that's actually a real thing? That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
okay. Yeah, okay. How many people do you believe right away? You do. You can't say that you don't. Like if like Elon Musk says something, I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. Oh yeah, things that is probably true. I'm saying you because of
Yeah, yeah, you
under
can
what you're
have
saying,
belief in somebody, but doesn't mean that I like it. How do I know if something is actually true?
but okay, but we use our belief in other people as a metric for our decision making. If
Hmm.
if the doctor says, "Hey, bro, cigarettes cause cancer," there's a high likelihood I'm not going to smoke cigarettes. Are you going to read all the research data
No.
in relation? Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You're just going to believe the trusted expert,
Yeah.
but you don't even know if he's correct. Because remember, I told you like I went to the doctor and I was like, "Hey, I have high blood pressure. I think it's related to CPAP like sleep apnea, right? Because Tara's like, there's a high correlation between sleep apnea and high blood pressure. And then the doctor was like, no, it's not related. You're too stressed. Don't worry. And I was like, no, I really want to get the CPAP machine. He's like, oh, it'll do nothing. And then I got it, and my blood pressure went straight down.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? It's like, that's exactly what you're saying. It's like, I'm just listening to the person I trust. And for me, I'm like, dude, you said you were part of the program. Everyone, it's not just like Hal Puthoff isn't just like some random guy. Everyone that's whistleblowing is like, yeah, Hal Puthoff's the guy, bro. And they're like, okay, so if you're all saying he's the guy,
Mm-hmm.
then there's a high likelihood you know what you're talking about.
Right.
See what I mean? But you see, but that's the bias that I'm like.
I don't
That's
feel
the
like
one.
it's a. But
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's a bias because everything
it
I've
is a bias.
seen.
What?
No, everything I've seen prior to this sort of stuff, like with psychics or anything, has been
But
disproven,
you
right?
haven't though. No. But you haven't. But you
No.
haven't yet.
I'm talking about like James
Okay.
Randall, like all these
Oh,
people.
James Ramsey. You mean?
No. I think Randall or James Randy, maybe the guy that was a
Oh, the
magician
Amazing Randy. Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
that like
Right.
put up that money and like prove your psychic abilities, and they couldn't do it.
Yes. Right.
So
Okay.
like
So
if I'm going based on that evidence, right?
right. How far have you looked into the UFO thing
What do you mean?
in relation to like no how many like how outside of me, how far have you looked into this
No,
thing?
I don't look. I've never looked at it.
Exactly. So it's like you're like, hey, bro, I just saw this guy thing. It's like going to the doctor. I'm like, hey, doctor, should I get a CPAP machine? And he's like, no. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look at all these people that are telling me that, hey, this could work, like Tara, and then she has all this research from other people. So I'm like, let me dive into the research, and then I'm like, okay, it seems like there's a very strong correlation between this thing. I'm going to go do it. So what you're saying is like going to the doctor only, and I'm like, yeah, but I like looked into this thing, so it's not like I'm saying this as like, yeah, I just watched a couple documentaries. No, dude, I read like books. I watched like interviews that are connected, independent interviews that are all saying the exact same thing. And that's how I know it's real. I'm like, these people don't like these people. Like nobody likes Stephen Greer. Nobody likes like Lou Elizondo. Or people like Lou Elizondo. Nobody likes Stephen Greer. But you guys are saying the same thing. But I'm listening to both of you guys. And I'm like, that's how I know the points of intersection are the ones that are real.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? It's like if I only listen to Lou Elizondo, just like your James Ramsey thing, it's like, yeah, okay, I'm only gonna think this thing. But I'm like, okay, why is nobody like Stephen Greer? What is Stephen Greer saying? I listened to his interview. I'm like, that sounds pretty logical, bro.
Right.
You know? And then I'm like looking at other people like Hal Puthoff and like Jacques Fillet and like Skywatcher and all these different people, and they're all like, I'm not taking just their word. I'm like, these are all points of intersection, and that point of intersection must be true. Because you guys hate each other and you're saying the exact same thing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So are you following my train of thought there?
Yeah. Sure.
And but that's why I'm like, when you're like, oh, no psychics, I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, there's like deep research into this thing. You just haven't looked far enough into it. It's like you're only looking at like the mainstream thing because you're like, yeah, one person said like this, right? But it's like, but then all these other scientists and like all these other researchers.
No.
and all
I'm
these
saying
other-
like, yeah. No, I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, I haven't seen anything because I've
Because you haven't
seen
looked
all
into it,
that.
though.
I've seen all
No, but
that
you
where
haven't looked
different
into it.
people showed up with their different abilities, and they stuck it with like science to see if this is true, and it hasn't come true. Right.
And who's the
What-
one person? There's one person, right?
One person. What?
Like you're the thing you're saying right
No.
now. is,
No.
like,
He's
showed
just
up.
the person that put up the money to like. If you can prove it, I'll give you the $1 million.
So how many other debunkers have you looked at?
Well, who's doing it? No, all the ones that were after his team or after his thing, right?